It happens almost every time. Someone decides to finally get their money right, but within 3 months, 80% of people abandon their new budget completely, falling right back into a relentless cycle of consumer debt. This chart maps the current economic landscape. The aggressive red line climbing upward is consumer debt, and it's drastically diverging from this flat line at the bottom, which represents personal savings. When those budgets fail, we tend to blame a lack of willpower. But the real issue is often trying to manage complex, modern digital transactions with outdated analog methods. Spreadsheets and notebooks struggle to keep up with tap-to-pay and auto-renewing subscriptions. Getting ahead of debt requires pinpointing the specific behavioral friction that makes you quit tracking your money, and then deploying the specific software designed to solve that specific hurdle. Building a reliable digital infrastructure provides the visibility needed to make better choices. It is the starting point for communities like Frugal Friends that are currently targeting a collective $100,000 debt payoff. Budgeting often fails because the process itself is draining. For many, opening a rigid spreadsheet filled with tiny grid lines triggers immediate anxiety. It feels more like a punishment than a plan, so they eventually stop looking at it. An app called Copilot addresses this by replacing those rigid columns with a highly visual, gamified interface. It's designed to make the daily act of tracking money feel more like an interaction and less like a chore. By focusing on how the data looks and feels, the app helps build a positive loop. It makes checking your accounts a habit of engagement rather than an exercise in avoidance. The problem doubles when two people try to manage one bank account. When partners track spending separately or use different systems, it creates a gap in information that leads to unexpected spending and conflicting goals. Monarch and Crew are built to bridge this household communication gap by allowing multiple users to see the same information in real time. These apps act as a central hub, syncing fragmented data from different accounts and different people into a single ledger that both partners can access from their own phones. Syncing these details removes the guesswork that often stalls a debt payoff. When everyone sees the same numbers, a household can finally move toward a common goal without the friction of hidden transactions. Another common failure is looking backward. Most people only check their budget to see what they've already spent, which makes it impossible to change course before the money is gone. This is zero-based budgeting, the core philosophy of the app YNAB. It involves taking your monthly income and slicing it into precise portions to give every dollar a job, rent, groceries, or debt, before the month begins. You aren't just tracking history, you're deciding your future. When every dollar is spoken for, the path to zero debt becomes a matter of execution rather than hope. Then there is the cost of the tools themselves. It can feel counterproductive to pay for a subscription when your primary objective is to save money. For those who need to start without adding another bill, FreeBudget provides a basic utility that handles the essential tracking without any financial barrier to entry. Starting a tracking habit, even with a basic tool, significantly increases the chance of success compared to not tracking at all. Downloading an app is the mechanical first step, but it's the routine that follows that creates the result. The goal for 2026 is to move away from a narrow scarcity mindset and toward a system where your spending actually reflects your values. The software you choose is a mirror. It shows you the reality of your daily habits and the impact of the choices you make every time you get paid. Pairing the right tool with a consistent routine is what allows you to finally break the cycle and stay ahead of your debt. What's the biggest hurdle you faced when trying to stick to a budget? Let us know in the comments below. If you're ready to start your financial reset, like this video and subscribe to The Explainer for more strategies